start off, my top 10 is Ride the White Horse. And the reason this is one of my favorites of the year is mostly because it was one of my biggest sends of the year. It was my first 10 of the year and one of the climbs that took me the most to work. Even though I got this dialed to feel really easy, there was one move where my heel would constantly slip and I just couldn't get it to go from the bottom, even though in isolation I could do it over and over again, almost every time. And then eventually I changed the shoe and gave it a go. And that one go with the one different shoe, it stuck and it went. And yeah, it just felt good. It feels good when something took a lot of work. And that's why this one's my top 10. A lot of work went into it. And it was my first big send of 2022.
Yes. Fuck yeah! I knew you were fucking ready, bro. 100%. 100%. Let's fucking go.
Techo Don Pepo left is one of my favorites, mostly because of a single move. It's a roof, and I love the style of this climb. The weather was crazy, and that made it more memorable. But what it really came down to, the one move I won't forget, is this one extended move where my left hand goes to this super polished flat hold on a roof. It's completely vertical. It just doesn't seem like you could hold it possibly, but because of the tension from the toe hook creating the compression on the block, you're somehow holding this impossibly slick hold, and it felt so cool to be able to hold on to essentially nothing. And for that reason, it was one of my favorite moves, and it became one of my favorite climbs of the trip. And not only that, I thought the top out would be easy, but from the beginning I was just tired enough that I almost punted, and you know, it was a well-earned send, and yeah, easily one of my top 10 climbs of 2022.
Oh, thank you.
Alright, congrats.
I need that encouragement. Went a long way. Oh.
El Murcielago was also an easy choice for my top 10 favorite climbs of the year, and this comes down to also a specific sequence, but it also is strongly contributed to by the people I was with. We met some awesome people in Spain, and this was the one day we all planned on going out together. This was the objective for both me and Tom. And yeah, as you can see, the coolest part of this climb is that you have to invert and go feet first. You get to do the sick bat hang and climb out of a roof, which overall, if you can't tell, is the reason I chose Albarracin for my trip this year. Lots of roofs and overhanging climbing.
Nice, come on.
I was getting sore.
And yeah, it was just such a sick climb, such a good crew, and just so much fun. And it's made Albarracin feel like a special place that I can't wait to go back to.
Nice.
The other big trip of the year was when I went to Colorado with Saul and Jaws, and the one project we all kind of ended up doing together, where we all put in a lot of work, all had the same psych, and just put it together on the same day, was Love Matters in Guanella Pass. So that whole process of just projecting with my two best climbing partners and sending the same day and just being surrounded by friends and just, yeah, it's kind of what I hope most of my projecting is always like, to do it with friends, to send together, and obviously to do it on a good climb, which this was. This was such a satisfying send, and I'm so glad we all got to do it together.
I was not expecting that.
Yes! Shut up, guys!
Joe's Valley was easily going to have some of my top 10 because it is such a fun place, and the first climb on the list is Planet of the Apes, and that's just because it's simply a great climb. I love compression, I love that it has a knee bar, it has a slightly spicy mantle. It's just really fun movement, really good climb, and it was just really nice to send it quickly, which allowed me to have energy to send some more, including the next climb in my top 10. After a really good day at New Joe's, I wanted to try one more climb, so I came to this climb called Entrance Exam. And the reason this is my top 10 is because I kind of climbed it really badly, and I tend to drop off when I catch holds not great, or when it just feels harder than I know it can be if I execute better. But for some reason, I just pushed through this one, which is a skill that I lack. I don't often push when things go badly. So this was a cool climb where I kept myself together and put the send together instead of dropping off and betting on another go, which is a skill I want to get better at this year, to do that more often, to send in less goes, and yeah, it's just a good skill to have. So that's why this climb's in my top 10. It was a very satisfying send, and I learned to try a little harder. There's one more climb from Joe's Valley, my top 10, and that's Mr. Guppy. This one is one of my favorites because of the unique movement. While I think it goes with more usual common beta, flipping it to a palm and lie backing these slopers and finishing with a nice throw to the lip was so satisfying. It felt like unique movement I hadn't really done. Flipping to a palm on a vertical face, I don't know if I've done before, so it's just a sweet climb. It was pretty freaking great. Israil Direct in Mose Valley was one of my favorites just because I thought it was a really good line from beginning to end. I had done the V6 variation before, where you traverse from the right to the left, and I ignored the direct because it involved a big throw to start with, which I don't think I'm good at. Turns out it wasn't that hard, and I actually enjoyed that beta more, so I think the 8 is a better line. And yeah, I really like the line. It's a classic, and it was just too good to not put in the top 10.
Come on, Christian, you got it. That sounds good.
Yeah, I was gonna go for this one, but I think that one easier.
Good. Okay.
I was really worried about the zone when I hit it.
If you can't tell by now, I like roof climbing and steep climbing, and the Beast just happened to have that. And another thing that I like that I don't often get to do because it's kind of hard to find, I like to do good climbs that are not done frequently. And in Mose Valley, everything's really accessible, so most things get done a lot, but this one doesn't seem to get much traffic, and I think it's a really good climb, even with the slight choss that it has on it. It took 3 days of work to figure out my beta, because it ended up being a power endurance climb where I had to execute well, but that made it the more satisfying to send. And yeah, I just think it's a really good climb that is not noticed enough in Mose Valley, and more people should go do it. That's the point of this list. These climbs are worth doing, so add it to your list and do it. Also about the grade, I think in the book it gets a V8, but from what I understand, holds up broken, and in my experience, it was just so much closer to V9, V9 plus for the area in my experience. So it was an easy upgrade for me. And yeah, try it and give it what you think. I thought for Most Valley, solid V9.
There we go. Oh, nice.
Yeah, boy. Woo! Shit.
The last climb on this list is Bazooka Tooth, stem variation, not direct with that crazy dyno. And this one also comes down to something like Mr. Guppy. I thought the movement was super unique. You don't find it often. That stem beta was so much fun. And the other factor is I kind of like when climbs feel super undoable, and then you just keep playing with the beta and you unlock something where it now feels accessible, possible, and you send it. That's just a super nice feeling that putting in work, playing with beta, unlocks things. So that's what made this climb super cool. I found beta I really enjoyed. I thought it was different than what you're gonna find most places, and it is so worth doing, even though it's like 7 feet off the ground.